Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Erica, your Houston realtor. I know I'm wearing a New York hat today just because it goes with what I'm wearing. But today I am in a new community. Pulte Homes is hosting a networking event where they're going to talk to us about construction. This is a brand new community. I mean, I am seeing just plain territory. So that means that right now, first dibs get probably the better pricing and the better lots. I'm super excited. I love Pulte Homes already. So I'm really excited to know what they plan to do here and hear more about their construction. So stay tuned so you can learn a little bit more about Pulte, and this area is by 99 and Cypress Rosehill.
Today in a little bit different aspect. You get to kind of see our houses a lot of times on the finished standpoint, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into getting a house into the spot that it is today. And I feel like that some of our customers get deprived of that because they may be buying inventory or things like that. So great opportunity to get you guys out in front of us and kind of see what I feel sets us apart from other builders. And I have worked for those other builders, and this is my longest tenure here because I do believe wholeheartedly in what we do for our, you're going to hear the acronym PCS, but it's our Pulte Construction Standards. Our Pulte Construction Standards are extremely different in the aspect is that all of our houses go through a third-party IRC code inspection. Every near house that's built in the greater Houston area goes through IRC. But our Pulte Construction Standards is above and beyond what we call the code. And
stuff that we really like to take pride of and things that we do. A couple things also start off right here, because of course we do bat. Well, every house, you know, you run conduits, your MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. One of the things that I take a lot of pride on doing is, you know, we'll put in bat installation, of course. You can see right up here. Like to put insulation. Also foam seal. So the thing that we like to do is our 6-sided assembly. So whenever we open up our insulation, we want to make sure that it's not just behind on top. We like to make sure that all the conduits, everything is hugged. We want to make sure that everything is getting the best insulation it can. We also go ahead and make sure that we seal all penetrations, making sure that there's no air leakage, nothing like that, and making the house as airtight as possible. That also goes down all the way to the bottom plate as well, making sure that there's no air leakage or anything. At the very top, we also like to make sure that we got insulation all the way up top, as well as on our top plates. Instead of just putting insulation, we actually like to put the insulation above the top plate, making sure there's not any hot or cold spots. And on these areas is what we like to call our inaccessible areas. So they're areas where we're either not going to get those 12 inches of blown insulation, or it's just kind of really hard to get it because if it's a tight angle. So we like to make sure that we pretty much run the insulation all the way up to make sure that we're getting that proper R value in those areas.
So here, NP is for nail pattern, so we're expecting every window header for the nail pattern. So we're missing a couple nails up there, so that's marked as incorrect. We have energy headers, so every window gets foam in between these 2x6s or 2x4s, or whatever's up top. And so if we're missing that or have a gap in that, we'll get an X. And then we have an air seal going around, which they haven't done yet, with a foam all around that we check on every window. And then down here we have WS, which will be our wet seal, which is making sure we're caulked correctly at the bottom of all the windows.
Also,
go ahead. So like what Ryan's saying, when you see an X, that to me, I already know that the guys have notified that there's an issue or a problem. Once he calls a vendor, the vendor comes back and corrects that. We then go back and we put a dot over that X. And that means that we verified that it is now correct and ready to move on to the next step. So you'll see a lot of, especially on the exterior drainage plane, you'll see X's and you'll see like 3 and 3. That means that we may have missed a nail when it should be nailed 3 inches on center throughout that whole piece of heat line. So that's just those checks and balances to make sure that A, we're doing it per the manufacturer's recommendations, and B is make sure we're doing it right, because you know our motto, if you don't know, is do the right thing, and that's what we impress to do every single day to our buyers, and it's always to do the right thing. A lot of new aspects in the market today, but when that insulation, we insulate to a grade 1, which means all aspects of the house are going to function at the highest possible level that Energy Star rating can get to us using that insulation.
So you're an Energy Star?
We are Energy Star certified. That's why you'll see we recently went to a whole bunch of changed some aspects of insulation, and then of course the hot water heaters, the tankless hot water heaters was one of the biggest things that drove in Energy Star, along with some other details. Pretty much kind of standard now through all our products, but once again, a radiant barrier that over the life of the house is going to save our buyers and our homeowners multiple dollars throughout the life of the home. Cools the house by probably about 5, 8, 10% in the attic itself.
One more highlight feature I also want to point out is we also like to make sure we got proper insulation dam. So what that means is when we come in and we blow that insulation from up top, we want to make sure that the insulation, like I said, gets contained. We don't want to not have a barrier, because if not, that insulation, although you're blowing it, it just starts running and running and running and running and running. So right up here is a great example, right? We have our barrier way up top, and as you can see, it's also on the exterior side of that header. So we're making sure that that header does get your insulation, not just where it starts, but where it ends. And that's going to also help us maintain our correct R value. I don't think the running here through yet, but another thing that we like to do is we'll put insulation rulers throughout different sections of the attic. That way when our our third-party inspector comes in, that Ryan was talking about, that's one thing that they do check. They want to make sure that all those rulers throughout that are spread out throughout the house do get that proper, at least minimum 12 inches of insulation. So that insulation dam helps us also maintain that. And as like I said, instead of it putting it right up here against the wall, we actually put it on the exterior side and make sure that that top plate does not get hot or cold depending on the temperature.
But one of the most important parts of a house, in my opinion, is the exterior drainage plan, right? This is the final line of defense. This is the first and final line of defense for water infiltration into your house, right? As we all know, brick is made for clay. Water can get through brick, right? That over time, we get a lot of water, wind and rain, that can get through brick. It catches to this drainage plane and it runs down to the bottom here, and it runs out through our weep holes when we brick it. So as you see here, we do use a AMG product. This AMG from T-Ply stands for Advanced Moisture Guard. So it is a product that has a very shiny film that's spread and is sprayed on it. It is code certified to be an advanced moisture guard. Our red T-Ply is code certified to be a windstorm barrier or engineered sheeting. Green is simply for the advanced moisture guard, so that we do have a product that will stop the water from behind it. One thing about a product like this is when we do penetrate it, now we become vulnerable for water and leaks. Each one of our penetrations will have a boot, right? So you'll see multiple size boots poking out here through the rubber surface. These boots are all fitted to each particular penetration. These boots are then sealed and taped so that water cannot come out. They're taped in a specific manner, left, right, and top, so we don't have any opportunity for water to get behind that tape. You'll see if we did something wrong here, the field manager has saw we did not go 1 inch past the right leg. So he points it out, puts an X on it, and says take 1 inch past the leg. So that's a great example. Once that's fixed, we'll come back, see it, and you will put a dot over the X. You'll see that you'll see that come up here and there's a straight dot. That means he's looked at everything on this particular piece. And he said, yes, it is good to go. He's good. This is back here. one of the biggest opportunities for Pulte years ago, not today, was this drainage plane, right? When water gets behind our drainage plane and gets into our house, there's all kinds of ways that can go south, right? From the worst being the M word. That's what every homeowner is worried about, right? Is that mold, and this is a great product to stop our water from penetrating through our plane if it's installed correctly, and we make sure that for our checks and balances we are installing correctly. We're using our boots that are called out. You'll see a lot of our vendors, a lot of our competition, they'll just pop it through there. They may put some caulk around it, they may throw some tape on it, but not putting any boots on the exterior drainage plane to make sure that we're making as much as a watertight barrier as we possibly can. You'll notice we go to the point, these nails shouldn't be overdriven. You might see some overdriven nails. Not a problem, we just got to come back and make sure we seal them up with a product that is recommended.
For example, the house is walk, it was spotted the boot was missing. We will not side or pass forward. Our vendors know, and the thing I'm a big fan of the PCS is, over time working with our contractors, they also learn, I guess you could say, our PCS language. So when they see something they know it's wrong, they know that they need to fix it immediately. We take a lot of pride in this, so when a vendor sees this, they know that they gotta come back, they gotta fix it, and we'll not move forward until these issues are addressed. So this is a great example of, hey, yes, you did run your equipment, all that good stuff, but the boot is needed, and we will not move forward until that is done. Same as Ryan was speaking, we don't just look at boots, we look at nail pattern. Of course, it's red. We want to make sure that for the engineering manufacturers, 3-on-3, 6-on-12, it's green, all that good stuff. We want to make sure that all our taping is done correctly. Additionally, we want to make sure that there's no overdriven nails. Nails are missing. We need to make sure that they're added. We also want to make sure that the key ply is installed correctly. Right now, it's a bit harder to see with our moist stop here. Whenever we want to break, we want to make sure our key ply is extending at least 3/4 of an inch below our bottom plate to make sure that water cannot just run back in. We want to make sure that that's running below to give it that best protection against water. Same with all the windows. We look at them from the outside, the screws are done correctly. Doors and windows are taped, all that good stuff.
Another thing that's important to make sure that we're not getting any water in the house, but the other thing that's also important is how we get it out from behind the brick. That's what all this black material is under each of the windows. If you get it on 2 stories, we'll put it above the windows as well. So that helps direct the water out from behind the brick. We really try and get water out at any as often as possible.
Right.
So anywhere it makes sense to direct that water out from behind the brick, windows, doors.
So like Ryan was thinking about, you're going to see brick up to the bottom of here, and then there's some brick that's going to sit on top of here. And we're going to cut the excess moist stuff off, and you will see a small black line in between those two pieces of brick. Yes, we want to see that. We do. I think we do get a lot of feedback from the buyer that line doesn't look great, but I think once we explain to them why it's there, basically to Ryan's point, is this is a huge penetration. This can be a huge opportunity for water penetration, especially when you've got a slope like the window sill. For that water to get behind here, once that water gets from here to here, it's going to come out of your weep holes here instead of traveling all the way down and going out of your weep hole at the bottom. Now think about that as a 2-story, right? So this isn't bad, right? That's only 1.5 feet. But if you got a window 14 foot up high on a 2-story, now that water has traveled from that 14 foot high window all the way down to the bottom. But if we had that piece of moist stop in there, it stopped at what, 8 inches? And then it's coming out. So that's one thing that I think it's huge. To Ryan's point, is not to stop the water from getting in, but make sure the water gets out as quickly as possible, because we all know water can get through brick. We do Pulte Homes. We cover a 1-year, 2-year, 5-year, and a 10-year warranty. your 10-year warranty is your frame and structural. It's pretty standard. 1 year is a pretty standard warranty too, with everything except for beautification things, I guess. Things that maybe a homeowner maybe hit his walls, touch his walls, things of that nature. A 2-year warranty. There's some applications for appliances. I think what Amy's hitting on is a 5-year warranty, and I think a 5-year warranty that Pulte offers is a warranty that I guarantee you nobody else offers. It's a water penetration warranty. Now it's not from we had a storm and water blew in through a vent and got into a house. That's not it. It's a 5-year roof penetration and a 5-year water infiltration. For example, if you have a roof leak within 5 years, and we deem that it's from the manufacturer or from our installation, Pulte Homes honors that. If it's deemed from Mother Nature or something like that, then of course that wouldn't be something that's honored. But any manufacturer or installation 5-year water roof penetration.
Just how we did today, we also would like to make sure that we give our customers the best experience. So I like, of course, getting homeowners right from the get-go. We get to go through the intro, but just as we did today, we also do a walk like this with our homeowners. It's not like, hey, we're moving drywall, that's it. No, we actually like to schedule a walk with the homeowners and say, hey, if you have a chance, let's walk the house together. We actually walk the house exactly at this stage when everything's in right before drywall, and just how we did with you guys, we show them everything. We go over the key. We like to highlight, of course, all those beautiful features about insulation, all that good stuff. That way the homeowners really know what's going in. And I like to call it like the behind the scenes. You really get to know how the house works, where everything's at, all that great cool stuff. So it's something that we like to do just to help our customers have the best experience, be as best informed as they can, and of course, give them more opportunities to have those interactions with us and ask those beautiful questions as well.
And we'll also be, as a construction manager, we'll be updating your buyers weekly, and then with our sales counselors, we'll be calling the buyers bi-weekly. To update them, make sure everything they're comfortable, don't have any questions.
One indication, and it's just thing that I take a lot of pride in. These guys do every week, and our customer is the number one most important thing. So all 3 products are going to have different completion times. So you're going to look anywhere from 78 business days to 91 business days.
78 business days.
Mm-hmm.
So what? That's like 3 months. Sorry, I don't know business
So
days.
you're
Like
you're
3
looking-
months,
you're
4
looking-
months,
Yeah.
Okay.
3 to 6, somewhere like that.
3 to 6. Okay,
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
4 to 6 months. Okay.
No.